What up, my friends and family? I am Wowwy, and this is this little light of mine. A power carving I created with a rotary tool, a flex shaft, and a combination of bits and burrs. In this video, I'm going to teach you how I did it and hopefully entertain you as well. And all that's left is little LaRue. Come on, LaRue. Kick it off, little man.
Hey, what's going on today? Down in Wowwy'z Workshop, where we use art each day to chase the blues away. Down in Wowwy'z Workshop, brought to you by two brothers, one vision. Down in Wowwy'z Workshop, brought to you by two brothers, one vision.
Hello,
Brought to you by the two
my
brothers,
friends
one
and family.
vision.
Welcome back to Wowwy'z Workshop. And I do apologize if you hear loud machines in the background. They're ripping the GD neighborhood apart behind us. Okay, here we go, guys. I heard in the woodworking community that somebody was doing a challenge. Yeah, a man in the moon, a moon, smiling moon challenge. And that would be Miss Amy Jo, my soul sister. If any of you guys thought, oh, wow, he wasn't going to take part, well, you're sadly mistaken. Yes, well, he's had a lot on his plate. Cupcake plate. And as a lot of you guys know, but I really want to take part in this. I want to support Amy Jo and take part because this community means a hell of a lot to me. So, I got this. I believe it's pine. You buy them at the local home hardware in Canada. And they're just like bar stool tops or tabletops. And that's what we're going to use today. Now this one here had that crazy knot. So I was thinking I could have put that where the crescent moon connects, but that could cause me trouble. This is a moon. Moons have craters. I'm going to call that a crater or just a feature. And that's going to sit back there. Now, I'm going to use this plate to make that main line. I'm going to use my burrs. I'll have to draw on the nose, but I'm going to use my burrs to take away the material. And after time after repetition, the material will be away and I can break that piece out. That's the way I'm going to go about this one. So now I'm going to get to drawing them. I may look at Google for a little bit of reference, but I think I can draw all right, and I'll try and figure them out. We'll do a time lapse of that. Yeah, thanks for being here and listening to that silly ramble. Let's do it to it. All right, guys, let's jump right in. I'm starting with the Kutzall Flame Extreme, and I'm pulling it kind of on its side to get this very first track carved in. And then I do use the burr on its side and pull it in that way to make a nice, just a level, nice, long drawn out pull. Now it's going to take a while for you to get used to using the burrs like this. When you buy them, test them out and get a feel for them all and stuff before you just dive in and start using them. It can be dangerous. But here I've got it. After I've gotten as deep as I want to go with the flame, I'm switching over to the extreme taper, and it'll give that added punch to poke through. And again, I pull it on its side. Now be careful, because this can get, if it jags on you or whatever, you have to be very careful using these burrs. And as you can see, finally I'm popping through. My goodness, I was so happy. And then just using the length of that taper burr to my advantage and cleaning up all the edges. And the sanding, oh my goodness, the sanding, guys. Always sanding. Anytime I stop carving, I'm sanding. Next is the Dremel Carbide cutter. I'm going to go in there and cut around all of the pencil lines that I've drawn in for my design. And just do nice clean cuts around. Leave the pencil lines there, because then you know that you haven't messed up. You leave them all there. And just take your time. kind of use the burr on its side a little bit. And I'm so used to drawing that this is just hand in hand. That's why I love using the Dremel Flexshaft. It's like a magic wand. And if you ever drawn, well, this can become very, very easy to you. So as I cut it in, I'm checking, and it's looking all right. So now I use the Dremel 7144 to go over all of those cut lines, and it makes a very, very nice, clean, almost like a small V-tool. And I love things to be very, very clean and, you know, finished very nicely. So I go over it over and over and over. The repetition sometimes is crazy. You guys would go to sleep if I really included it all. But as you see, I'm just going, slowly getting those shadows to start to pop. You know, underneath the eyelid, underneath the wrinkle, underneath the eye, the bags under the eyes. Now this here, this taper, this is a good way to get in there and start really cutting those edges in and moving more material. You see, there's parts there that I want that cheek to pop. So I gotta take the material away. Yep, there it is. Pop. Wowie proved. Here I go. And as you can see, you take more material away and you get underneath there and you're gonna make more of a shadow line. And that shadow play is the magic that you use. Oh, there's more sanding. What did I tell you? I got those little square pieces of blue sandpaper. I have a trail of them behind me. And here we are the next day, guys. Happy day. Okay, let's just get... So, the shadow play is starting to happen. You see that? My trusty antique brush there. Oh, my earphones. Okay, guys. This, at the end of the day there, I was just looking at his, and I had stopped recording, and I was looking at his lip there and how it comes underneath there. And I wanted a, you know, when you think about how do I do that with a camera? Yeah. So I wanted, you know, a shape like this as the lip comes down from the nose to the lip. That little spot in there, a concave, would that be the right proper word? And so what do you do if you want a shape like that somewhere? Then you just got to think, like, what burr will do that shape for me? And in this case, it was, I went to a Kutzall ball. And so I'm sorry that I wasn't recording that at the very, very end. But this is a Kutzall sphere course. Original. The original is the size of the ball. And then it comes in its different flavors, I like to say. But this one is coarse in the original sphere. And then there's the bigger ones. Okay. And then you got your bigger ones. And then if you go over to this one, and that's the 1/4 inch on the Fordham 44T handpiece. Alrighty. That's just a little snippet of all the Kutzall ball sizes you can have. So I took that bad boy and just gently bing, 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 like that, just stroking in that shape that I wanted to achieve. And it made it nice there. And then I believe I did it right here a tiny bit, because you can see it in there. And then I was like, oh, hey, you're not recording. This is supposed to be true to the creation process, man. So now I'm going to go, I think, to a Kutzall fine taper, and go in here and kind of go where the original pencil lines were and kind of redefine that line. Redefine that line. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to babble about it. So let's go to this one. Change it out from the coarse ball original sphere to the Kutzall fine taper. Fine being the flavor, and the taper is the shape. Doodly doo, ding dong. Do it to it. And that's what I do with the taper there. I do one good pass with the taper, and then I switch over to the Carbide cutter and refine those lines with that. Cut them in there one more good time. Get that shadow popping. Then switching over to the sanding. I use a Peter Blair mandrel. Now, the amount of sanding I do in here is just ridiculous because I use these to actually form and help carve. And you can be darn tootin' that by the time I'm done a piece, I've done just as much sanding and mandrel work as I have with the carving work. It's become part of our style. Very, very clean and always sanded very well. It's just the way we are. And one more kick with the old 7144, just for good measure. This is probably one of my most favorite bits. And all right, I've been sanding with these little squares, getting in there, getting the final flow lines nice and smooth. Now you see I went in there with a small carbide ball and just punched it in and give it a little bit of an undercut just to make that pop, that little shadow pop. And it sure does a beautiful difference, you know, in the whole swing of things. You see, it looks like something out of a fairy tale, and that's what I'm going for. And that's an original drawing, so I'm proud of that too. Now, I was just looking, before we get too far, on the front of the lip there's a buit. I don't know the name, what that's called. I've always called it a buit. Buit? What the fuck you say, man? Buit? Breaking that rowdy shit around here. Jesus. Sorry. Buit. So I'll draw that in. And I will cut it with a smaller carbide ball. Just a smaller, it's the same carbide ball as we've been using, but it's smaller. With the micro carver, so I can get in there and get that wheat going. I warned you. And already, folks, it's a fresh day with fresh eyes, and he's looking pretty good, I'd say. First thing my brain is doing today when looking at him is here. I want that to balance up here. So I'm going to put a bit of a line there, the same way that this is, maybe not quite as deep. So that is balanced. I have this big thing about everything having to be kind of, well, a lot of you do too. Your brain don't feel right unless things are yin and yang. And also, I was showing you guys the different, the different burrs that we have in from Kutzall on the different sizes. Well, why not make some craters, My wife said, yeah, it needs it. I was like, well, what if I just like sand it super, super soft so it's like round? And she's like, nah, craters. So it's getting craters. So I'm just going to sketch on kind of where I want to go. I'll do that quick, and then I'll go there. All right. I'll record over the creepy breathing here and just do a little wowie walkthrough. I'm making that line there for the brow. And then it's for the craters. You know what? Nature is so random. The best advice I can give here is just be as completely random and switching sizes, and just don't get caught up on trying to make things look like 100% balanced with these craters. You just got to think about it. It's been hit by asteroids or whatever, meteors, for billions of years. It just has to look totally random. Now, time for a little mini episode of the spread. That's right. Lay out my little tool spread for the craters. Small, medium, and large. And let's do it. Now I'm using it on the side of the burr there, and just firm, constant pressure there. Make sure you have a good hold of the handpiece, a good hold of everything. And as you can see, I'm just slowly going around and following my pencil design, and as I go, I'm changing out the burrs in the different sizes, and as I work my way around, I get them all carved in. And now here I'm back to the sanding mandrel, the Peter Blair, and I'm going over and just trying to soften all of those little edges. Has to look worn, has to look super, super old. And always remember, guys, when using these sanding mandrels, to set your machines to low, or you'll burn out the motor. And I bet you can't guess which burr I'm going to use now. I know, that's 7144. When I tell you guys that repetition, I ain't fooling. I do things over and over and over till it just looks right. Finally, in my mind, the vision is complete. I appreciate your patience. But this is the real deal, guys. This is how I made them. Checking them over. Yep. Wowwy approved. Now this little attachment, this is awesome. This is actually one of the first times I've ever used it. The little right angle Dremel attachment that I got with my special kit. That worked just great. Make the little tiny pilot hole for the eye screw that's gonna hang the dangler. The magic. And moving right along, let's wood burn our signature in there now, so that's done, and they don't have to be putting it on the face as we close in here. As we get closer to the end, I don't want to be rubbing it on its face after putting so much work into all the sanding and everything, you know. So here I am with the Razertip SK. I love my wood burner. That wood burner is a gift I got from Carve Fusion some time ago now, and I'll always be appreciative of that. I use it all the time. Here I am, I'm just finishing that up and getting ready to carve the two dots on either side of our signature. Those represent the two brothers. We're each individuals. We share one vision with our artwork, yes, but we're each individuals, and that's what the two dots stand for. Just thought I'd share that. And no rest for the wicked. Let's get right to, we're gonna use a little steel wool and vinegar potion. Driftwood color potion is what I call it. Don't know if it's gonna work. We're just gonna, it's been in there for a couple hours. We're just gonna try. Every wood is different. Let's go. Sometimes it's dark gray, sometimes it's light gray, sometimes it don't work at all. You just never know. It's one of those things. Just have to have the guts to do it. And I'll put a little hanger there. Oh, I'm happy. Getting so close, guys. Alrighty, folks. It is the next day. I just let them sit for 24 hours, let all that vinegar and steel wool do its thing. Signature's there. I figured out, I'll show you. Figured out where he hung evenly. You just, hold it in different areas and then see it's not hanging right. So I figured it out, and it's where this crater is. That was his hanging true. And so I figured that where that crater is, and that's where the hanger went. Sorry about that camera work. My goodness, we're in the wide angle. LaRue's on set. Say hello, LaRue. Yeah, we're actually doing some filming for a Tool Talking episode. Pretty excited about that. So that's why LaRue is on set. And he likes to oversee these final touches. But I got to looking at it, and I had to stay true with the lines, because I know how he's sitting. And that's so that the hanger's nice and straight that way, horizontal. But you see, this is at an angle. And that kind of got me thinking and got in my brain. I didn't really appreciate that. You see that? It's just slight, but we're not going to talk about that for now. Alrighty now, we are to the point where it's gonna put in the ice screw, and then it'll be done, completed. And now for the soul. I want to thank my brother for helping me with this special gem. He makes the head pins by himself with copper wire. He melts them. I've tried to make them before and it never worked for me, but he has a special magic with that metal. And I thank you, Darren. This piece wouldn't be right without you. I love you, brother. And I extend that gratitude to all you watching. I truly, truly hope that our channel has taught you that you can do this. You can do it. And looking here in the Hall of Creations at all of the amazing pieces I've got from the amazing friends we've made. It just warms my heart to see them all. This community has made such an impact in my life, and I know so many out there that have found carving and found friends. And with that, folks, there is no YouTube without you. As long as you keep watching, Wowwy'z gonna keep making. We believe in you. Much love.